Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, I want to take a moment and just say thank you to everyone. The channel just hit 1,000 subscribers. Huge thanks to everyone for building up this community, which is just insane to me. And for those who are newer here, in my day job, I do a lot of public speaking. On any given day, you know, I teach anywhere from like 3 to 5 classes. So I can really visualize a group of 100 people. And just the fact that we have 1,000 here is, yeah, that's mind-boggling. And I know when it comes to this social media stuff, 1,000 is like nothing, but you know, 1,000 people in like life is just insane. Again, I don't think I can say thank you guys enough. And as for what that means like for the channel, well, nothing's really gonna change. It's gonna be business as usual. And you know, the next year or two, this car right here really is gonna be the focus of everything as we build it up and try to make it really nice. And the plan initially was to actually work on the white MR2 today, but the huge but is my daily broke. And normally I wouldn't film that type of stuff because it's my daily. It's just a tool to, you know, get me from work and stuff like that. Today though, what happened is, I don't even know how to explain. I don't even know how it happened. So we'll just get straight to it. Right here is my Nissan Titan. This is my daily driver. It's a 2006. If you look over here, it looks a little bit lower. Then we'll come to this other side, so the passenger side, and it's significantly higher. A few days ago, I came out to my truck and I was like, that looks a little bit low. My girlfriend made the same mention to me and I was like, whatever, I'll deal with it this coming weekend. I drove it to work. It felt like crud. The front end felt really stiff and it didn't feel like normal. So as soon as I got home from work, I went under the car and I noticed one of the springs were broken. Once we lift the truck up, I'll give you guys a good view of that. But in the meantime, I'll show you guys what I got. Outside of changing the fluids on this, I actually have never really jacked it up or messed with anything, so I had to buy some bigger jack stands. And as you see the box, that's literally how I got it. It was open, so I thought some of the things were gonna be missing, but I got super lucky and nothing was missing. Gotta give a shout out to Amazon for that. One of my biggest pet peeves is getting stuff that like has been packaged poorly and has been messed up. Luckily for me, everything's just cosmetic. And if I wasn't in such a rush, because like I need to drive this because, or I need it to get around because my white MR2, well, it's in pieces right there. The V6 MR2, it's the middle of winter and it has no hood, so I'm not gonna drive that car. Because the BMW is totaled, Jesus is actually using the WRX. So the point is I need a daily driver and I just need to get this car back on the road. On top of the jacks, I also got the new shocks. This ended up being my best bet. Of course, you see how this box is right here? Same thing, this came ripped open as well. Luckily, nothing was missing, and these seem like they're gonna be pretty freaking solid and should do the trick. Holy cow, guys, I just gotta say, I am absolutely shocked that I was able to get this thing lifted up. The jack was pretty much at its max. It's a 6-ton jack, so I figured it'd be perfectly fine to lift this up. I barely had enough room under here, so all I could do was get the jack down at the very like lowest setting. But yeah, we're gonna take off the wheels and go from there. Everything on this side looks good, but this is the good side. There you go. Looking everything like as a whole, the brakes need to be replaced soon, which I actually knew about. As you can see, they're getting pretty low on their life. The corrosion, I mean, I knew there was corrosion down here. It's not really the worst thing in the world. There's right here. This is actually a little bit worse than I remember it being. I know the tie rod needs to be replaced. I actually have that on the way. But right here, the spring, right here is part of the spring, and then right here is the other part of the spring. I honestly don't even know how I did that because I just drive this thing to and from work. So it's like 95% just daily drive or 5% towing, but this is something I would have felt while towing. Yeah, I just don't know how to explain this. My truck is a 2-wheel drive, so I think I'm gonna get away with just undoing the 3 bolts up top. There's one there, way back here, and then there's the bolt down here. So I should be able to, like I said, to undo those bolts and then just angle it out. If I really needed to, I could probably undo the end link right here, or maybe even just undo the tie rod to get a little bit more working room. And the whole shock is out. Oh boy, is this gnarly. Here is a side-by-side comparison, and holy cow, that's like night and day difference. I still don't get how the freaking spring broke. It makes no sense to me. Everything looks good though to me. The only difference I'm seeing is that this is notably thicker than this here, but considering I'm just using this as a daily driver, it should be totally fine. We got the first strut in, and I gotta tell you guys, I think it looks a lot better. So yeah, you can see this is new. Everything else is still kind of rusty, and you know, like it just, I don't know, it's just rusty and doesn't look good. I just wanted to kind of take a quick look around the passenger side before we replace the shock. It looks a lot better. It has a lot less corrosion. Like right here, I can understand because it's covered in fluid. It's power steering fluid. I just honestly never bothered to fix it. I just keep it topped off. I probably should fix it, but that's for another day. Honestly, it looks, like I said, just a lot better as a whole. The strut is rusting, so I'll go ahead and replace this one too. I already went ahead and disconnected the end link on this side, and it's still disconnected on the other side. So all I have to worry about is these, or this bolt, and the 3 bolts on top, and we'll have her out in just a few minutes. Well, my first thought is that's a massive difference. I can fit like 2 of my fists in there now. When I read some of the reviews, a few people said that it lifted it similar to like a leveling kit. I didn't really believe it. Here's a pretty big view of the side, and I'm really hoping it kind of settles down a little bit in the front. I'm assuming it will, mainly because the front is now taller than the back. I really just can't get over how big of a difference it made. So right here is a shot before we put the new struts on, and this is a shot right after we put the new struts on. Well, that's a massive change. That is all we got for today's video, and I'm so glad I decided to film, because who would have thought that like, well, a spring would have broken. And I still can't wrap my head around that one, first of all, but then secondly, I bought OE replacement struts and they ended up leveling the truck off. So I inadvertently installed a leveling kit. Not what I intended to do. Regardless, it's fixed. I still got to do the tie rods and brakes, but that's for another day. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.